12:05 in the afternoon here on 90.3 FM. Everybody in the studio seems to like in the mood here this song as we start this Wednesday edition of Helping Seniors of Brevard. And to get things underway with our esteemed panel, here's the Executive Director of Helping Seniors of Brevard, Kerry Fink. Hi, Kerry.
Hi, John Harper, and thank you for a rousing welcome and great music to bring us in. On behalf of Joe Steckler, our president and founder, and also Kim Bernard, our education specialist. It's Wednesday. It's lunchtime. And that means we gather around the radio here at 90.3 FM, WEJF. And that is time for the Helping Seniors radio show. And so we have a lot of great and fun stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about travel today because we have in the studio with us Chris Morse with the Helping Seniors Travel Club. He's also the owner and operator of Senior Travel Center. How are you today, Chris?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
And we just got back from a travel, and let me tell you, everybody is out there. It is amazing. Everybody is ready to travel. We're going to talk a lot about the cruise and some of the calls you've been getting, and I guess even other travel opportunities and things like that.
You know, it's funny when you're calling the travel vendors, every cruise line, you got to wait like an hour to talk to somebody because everybody is booking cruises and tours and hotels.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? It's roaring back. It's a good thing. I mean, after what we went through last year, it's great to see everybody back out and excited to be on the road. And so the other thing that we're going to talk about today is with our expert. I call her our in-house expert for years, friend of the Helping Seniors organization going way back. It's Barbara McIntyre. Now, she is reverse mortgage funding, and she is the lady who not only was able to convince Joe, who is a natural skeptic. He wants to make sure things we talk about for seniors are going to be helpful, beneficial, and have a lot of integrity with them. And you really impressed Joe with that, Barbara, years ago, because I remember Joe was asking you a lot of tough questions,
yes,
but you rose to the occasion.
He definitely put me through the hoops to make sure I was legit.
Yeah, and you absolutely have been, and it's amazing. We talk about the fact that you get calls from people literally all over the country because they'll see like a TV show that you and Joe did, and then all of a sudden we'll call you and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. And we were talking about this just before we went on the radio. You said there's some new things that make reverse mortgage even more important to think about right now. And I can't wait for us to get into that. So maybe let's just start right there. So the first thing is, we were talking before the show, everybody sees what's going on in the real estate market, right? You can't pick up a newspaper, look at a news report, look at Zillow,
right?
Anything, and you can see what's going on with house prices. And the interesting part is, as I understand from you, that makes this a very good time to take a look at a reverse mortgage.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
But, you know, with rising values of homes just going up from week to week, the value of your home could change in an upward trend. And if you plan to live in your house and that's where you intend to age in place, then looking at a reverse mortgage to give you access to that equity sometime in your future, when values are high, that's certainly the best time to do it.
And there's another thing here to think about, right? Because sometimes you'll pick up the newspaper and it'll say maybe we're at like the top of the market, like it could be a bubble. But that's even more important as a reason to think about, because you want to lock in that mortgage no matter what happens. You want to lock it in when the house value is perceived as being very high.
Absolutely. And what's great about reverse mortgages is just by putting the mortgage in place and utilizing what I tout mostly is the line of credit, if values decline, that access to that line of credit is never going to be reduced because it can't. The mortgage documents say that whatever that available equity that you're told when you first do the mortgage, whatever that amount is, it cannot be canceled, reduced, or called due. And home equity lines of credit through a conventional bank, they absolutely can be canceled, or they can be told. Back in 2008, when values declined, people with home equity lines of credit got letters from their lenders saying, sorry, we know your house isn't worth as much, so we're cutting off your line of credit. You can't borrow against it anymore.
Yeah, wasn't that the thing that happened in 2008, right? Because when the values dropped, all of a sudden people who had regular mortgages were way underwater. And if they needed to do something like that, there wasn't a way for them to work it out because now the house was worth less than the mortgage.
Right.
But in the reverse mortgage, that's actually to your benefit.
Yes,
right?
Because you're not responsible for the debt. The house itself, whatever its value is at the time that you want to repay it, either you're moving, or let's say you live there until you pass away, that's when your loan is due. And whatever the house value is the only thing that can be used to repay it.
So I was going to say, let's back up one notch because we see the TV commercials all the time, that tell us, oh, you should get it. There's a lot of TV commercials out there that just say now is a great time because of the value of your house to get a home equity loan. But let's start from the beginning because so many of us, we hear these terms bandied about.
Right.
And we hear the term reverse mortgage. And maybe we've heard bad things about the term reverse mortgage, like they're coming to take my house. How do you sit down with somebody who calls you and says, what is this whole reverse mortgage thing? Is this a good idea? How do you explain that to somebody?
How I explain it is that first I dispel the myths, which is the bank is not buying your home.
Okay.
And the bank is not taking an ownership interest in your home. A reverse mortgage is just a lien interest, like any loan you might have on your home. Secondly, how I explain it is I say that you aren't required to make a monthly payment, but you certainly can. So people sometimes think they have no choices, that if they wanted to pay the mortgage down, keep the debt lower, that somehow they can't do that. They can. You can make a payment anytime you want.
Wow.
Most importantly, though, the differences are the line of credit. It actually has benefits to it that, again, compared to a regular loan, it can't be reduced or canceled or called due. Your borrowers have to be 62 years old. You have to have, it has to be your primary residence, the home you're living in as your homesteaded property. You do have some qualifying for it. Basically, it's just to see that you can continue to pay your own property taxes and homeowners insurance once you have the mortgage. And Kerry, when we talk about someone who has a bad experience and they say, well, the bank did take my home, when you really look at the details of that mortgage, always, you determine that the borrower defaulted on their property taxes.
Right, which is a no-no in this,
Absolutely, because if the lender can only use the house for repayment,
right,
and the borrower defaults on taxes or homeowners insurance, then the house can actually be sold out from under the lender.
Yeah, and that's not good.
Or not rebuilt if there was a catastrophic fire or something. So those are the nightmare stories. Usually there's a lot more to the story. And what's important, and this is what we always say, education, knowledge is power. And that's why Joe and I have such a good relationship, because he knows that the first thing I do is educate the borrower and their families, oftentimes their financial advisor or accountant, whoever. I've even met with a borrower and their minister.
Right.
So whoever the borrower uses as their advisor, it's always good to have that person involved, and then decide, is this the right thing for me? If you don't plan to live in your home and stay in your home as you age, maybe it's not the right decision. Maybe you don't want a reverse mortgage. You want to hold on to all your equity and use it when you're ready to go into assisted living. So you have to kind of foresee what you'd want to do in your future to some degree to know whether it's a good fit.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons why you're so effective with your experience. You know the right questions to ask somebody that's considering this. You're not pushing this product on them. You're just explaining, here's how this works. But if you are saying, look, I want to keep the house, I'm going to do some things, you would want to do a reverse mortgage, it would seem, at this moment, right? Because number one, you have this perfect confluence of things in your favor, right? The house value is high. It's amazingly high.
Right.
The interest rates are low, and I assume somehow that must play into the value.
Absolutely. In fact, rates being lower actually make available a higher percentage of your equity to you. So
Wow.
when you say this perfect confluence, it's high values, low rates. It really is a good time to take a look at the reverse mortgage.
And that's one of the reasons, right, why we would want to think about this now,
Right.
Because you don't know how long the current situation stays in place, and you can, depending on which news report, you get a different report about what they think is going to happen in the housing market.
And the other thing I always say too is putting it in place doesn't mean you draw on it. If you don't have a need to draw equity today, but you put this mortgage in place, then you have just ensured that no matter what happens in the future, that equity is still available. You've already qualified for it. It's just a safety net and a bucket of money you can go to if you need it.
Right. And, okay, so growing up as a Boy Scout, they always taught us be prepared. This is a be prepared moment, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one of the things that's interesting about this too, right, is that if you get a reverse mortgage, you don't have to tap into it. It's like you've set it in place. Like our president, Joe. So our president has talked for years about everybody needs to make an aging plan. Mm-hmm. And some people say, well, I don't understand what you mean by that. I have a retirement plan. I figured out a 401k. I've done all that. What he's talking about when we talk aging plan, we all live here on the Atlantic coast, and we all understand when they say you got to have a hurricane plan. What does that mean? It means you hope there will never be a hurricane. Mm-hmm. It will pass by. It'll stay out to sea. It won't mess with us. But we live in an area where you could have a hurricane. So what do they tell us to do? Make preparations. Where are you going to go? How are you going to take care of your property? Do you have flashlight batteries? All the things that they tell us to do. Well, an aging plan, as Joe talks about it, that's what you need to think about. Things that might happen, which you hope never would. I mean, nobody wants a hurricane to land here, but we still want to be prepared as we can for it. And so when you start to go through the things that compose your aging plan, one part of this is truly financial, right? Because you're going to figure out, well, what are my resources? What do I have? What do I have in the bank? What do I have in investments? But a lot of times, most of us, maybe the biggest thing we have is our house. Mm-hmm. And then we're trying to figure out how does that fit into this equation? And it does seem like the reverse mortgage is an important tool in that part.
It absolutely can be, and many financial advisors definitely agree. We don't know how long we're going to live, but what we're finding out is we are all living a lot longer than we thought.
Oh my goodness. Last week I shared on the show a statistic that they sent over from some of our friends at Total Long-Term Care Consultants. This is just pulling data talking about the number of 85 plus people.
All right.
I love to tell this story because like 20 some odd years ago, we were in New York City and we were marketing a product called The Music of Your Life, which was a radio network that targeted 50 plus. And we would go talk to these ad agency buyers who were all like 18. They were looking for 18 to 49. And these were all like 24-year-old kids who were, having their first big job out of college at a big New York City advertising agency. Oh, we don't need the old people. We get them anyway. And we would say, well, there's two things that you need to consider. Number one, when you advertise, you can't confuse the marketing with the message. So if you ran a daytime TV commercial targeting an 18-year-old, you might actually offend the 64-year-old who's watching that same commercial. They'll say, I don't want to have anything to do with that product because I don't agree with whatever that was. The second reason that it's interesting to think about is that we used to tell this story. In 1900, if you were 50, statistically, you were dead. We just didn't live that long. Mm-hmm. Today, and this was 20 years ago, I need to look this up and see where we are today, but if you turn 67, your average life expectancy was another 18 years. And I've got to believe it's higher today because we just keep getting better and better with the medical technology. So you really do have to think, we have people 95. I mean, Kim Bernard can tell you, she gets calls.
Oh, I know.
every day. 95, 96. She'll get a call from a 70-year-old who's trying to take care of a 100-year-old mama. I mean, it happens.
I'm meeting with a 91-year-old woman right now who's in her home and just as spry and clear-minded, and she just wants some additional resources to help her at home.
See, and this has always been Joe's point. You want to live the best life that you can, given your circumstances, constraints, everything you're working with. How do you do that? You do that through this aging plan. And that's why what we're talking about with the reverse mortgage is so important. So let's say that I'm hearing this, maybe I'm seeing the TV commercials, but I'm hearing us talk about this on the radio today. What do you encourage somebody to do if they say, well, I've never really thought about that? What would be my next step to check this out?
I would recommend that they give me a call. I can, just by asking dates of birth, an address of a property, and our best guess at what its value might be if it was appraised today. If there's an existing mortgage on the property, how much that is. And I can actually run numbers with today's interest rates and estimated value and tell you exactly what you would qualify for if you were going to do the loan today.
Well, and that's a point that you brought up that I think is so important too, right? Because we've had this conversation before. Suppose you're in fact paying a mortgage payment on your house, and now you've got cash going out every month, and of course the bank is going to yell at you if you don't make that payment.
Worse than that,
and
if you don't make the payment, they can actually foreclose on you.
And that's what I was going to say. And then it can only escalate from there, right?
Right.
So one way that you could make smart use of a reverse mortgage is organize that, take care of the mortgage through that, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
And oftentimes, just getting rid of that mortgage payment is going to change your lifestyle enough that you still don't need to tap into an additional line of credit.
Yeah.
So once you think of, well, if I don't have to put that $900 or $800 or $600 even out of my checkbook every month, that's extra money I have to do what I need to do.
Yeah, for most of us, I would think our house payment is probably our single biggest monthly expense, right?
And seniors are on fixed incomes for the most part.
Right. And so even if you took a mortgage, if you were 35 or 40 and you got a 30-year mortgage, you might still have 10 years left on
That's
it.
right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Tell us about the length of terms, interest rates, and then what happens if the house goes into the estate? What happens for the kids?
Sure. We oftentimes close loans that are already named and titled in a trust.
Okay.
And so the homeowner is usually the current trustee of that trust, and then their trust designates who would be a successor trustee upon their death, and then it designates who are the beneficiaries.
Right.
So if they don't have a trust, they oftentimes have a will. I certainly encourage all clients I work with to, first things first, to have a durable power of attorney in place, but then of course inquire about a will. So what basically
that's all part of that aging plan.
It is.
Right?
It's all part of the aging plan, and just like helping seniors of Brevard, there's so many different things seniors need to think about to be able to sleep well at night knowing they're covered, and these are some of the issues. However, upon the death of the borrower, or if the borrower decides to move out and just sell the house and go into assisted living, in that scenario they just pay the mortgage back. But if they live in the home until they pass away, then their trust then takes place. The successor trustee now does whatever the trust designated, which is typically sell the home, pay back the mortgage, and then divvy up the value, the benefit, to the other beneficiaries. If, however, the house has depreciated for some reason, like 2008, then the estate is not saddled with the deficiency judgment, because in this mortgage there is no asset beyond the home which is responsible for repayment. That's the real benefit, and that's why FHA insurance is involved in this product, because lenders now, it's a fully insured mortgage. They can go to FHA to be made whole, and people will say, well, why would a lender give you a mortgage and not want payment until many years later? And that's why, because it's insured and they know they're going to be paid back the borrowed amount plus the interest that has accrued.
See, and I think that's also, we're talking with Barbara McIntyre with Reverse Mortgage Funding, and Chris Morse with Travel Center USA is here in the studio. We're going to talk about travel in a bit. But right now, just to stay on the reverse mortgage topic, I want to ask or maybe see if I am saying this correctly, because I think one of the misconceptions or things that we don't understand about a reverse mortgage is that we've always heard, well, when grandmother dies, they're going to take the house and that's it. And what you're explaining is it's really just arithmetic, right? Because there's a number that the house is worth, and there's a number that grandma has borrowed. And if there's a positive side to that, then that benefits the estates, because they say, well, you're not really spending, quote, my inheritance. But the flip side is it's much safer than a regular mortgage. Let's say grandmother bought the house in retirement. She got the mortgage at 55 or 60, and there's 20 years left on it, and we have a housing crash. Now, whatever else grandmother had, the bank is going to look to make up that, what you said, that deficiency. Am I saying that the right way?
Yes, that's exactly right. Deficiency judgments are passed to an estate if there is a mortgage on a home and it's a conventional mortgage and the home cannot pay it back, then that deficiency judgment can get passed on to the estate so that other assets may be needed to pay it back. In a reverse mortgage, that cannot happen.
So it's another reason why the reverse mortgage is a safe thing to look at from all these reasons. And I think there was another thing that you've explained along the way, is that over time your credit line grows?
Yes, it does. And now I'm gonna answer the rest of Chris's question, because I believe you were asking Chris about the term of the mortgage, and this is a unique mortgage in that it does not have a due date. So there is no term. It has no due date. The due date, the maturity event that can occur, is based on the last borrower on title passing away. A default on the property taxes would cause a maturity event. Default on homeowner's insurance, not keep maintaining that, and not maintaining the property. As long as those things continue, then the mortgage stays in place, and it doesn't matter what the balance does relative to the current value of the home, because we only look at the value of the home at maturity, which is when one of those four things occurs.
Wow.
So it could go to 40 years then, or 50 years.
Yeah,
sure. Well, we live a long time. So we're going to take our mid-show break real quickly before we go. Number to give Barbara McIntyre a call about reverse mortgage questions.
The number is 321-259-7880. 321-259-7880.
All right. Thanks, Barbara McIntyre. We'll be right back with more of Helping Seniors.
90.3 FM. As we continue with Helping Seniors of Brevard, here is the Executive Director of the organization, Kerry Fink.
Thank you, John Harper. And on behalf of our President and Founder, Joe Steckler, Kim Bernard, our Education Specialist, and our entire team here in the broadcast studio. It's Wednesdays, lunchtime. It's a great Wednesday. Make it a habit. Call your friends over, have a sandwich or a salad, and join us for Helping Seniors Information Radio right here on 90.3 FM, WEJF. And we're so fortunate to have in the studio this week, we were talking about reverse mortgages, and we have on hand our in-house expert who you've been friends with the Helping Seniors organization almost since Joe started it. We started in 2010, and it was not long after that I remember we met you. But we were talking during the break. I was telling the story. My mother moved down to be close to the rest of the family here in 2004, and so she had just gotten a mortgage on a house. And of course, then 2008 happened, and now the house was like ridiculously underwater. If we had known about a reverse mortgage at the time, that would have been exactly the perfect thing for her at that time. Because, for a lot of us, we would go, what a great time to sell our house, except then we have to find a place to live. But this is kind of, it has some of that benefit, right? You're tapping into the highest dollar amount possible,
Right.
And you still are in your house. So it's, I don't want to say it's like selling your house, but it has some of that benefit, right?
It absolutely does. We do, people can actually purchase a home with a reverse mortgage. Starting around 2010, the mortgage was made available by FHA to be able to purchase a home. Wow. And so, it does achieve so many things, and it does give you a hedge against the property ever devaluing.
Right.
And so it's really being seen now by financial advisors and advisors helping people plan for their finances in the future. It's putting the house in play as an asset in your retirement that is actually can be liquid cash if needed is just a really big feature of this mortgage.
And then I was asking I would almost call it the devil's advocate question. I said, because some people say, well, with all this money floating around, is there going to be a big problem with inflation? And he said, well, actually, that is fine in this case.
Yeah, if you're utilizing a line of credit in a reverse mortgage, and I've always said that when I was 62, I immediately did this on my home. I did a reverse mortgage and I put a line of credit in place. And I did that for the sole purpose of having access to additional money in my 80s if I needed long-term health care, because I was unable to qualify for a long-term health care insurance plan. And the unique feature of the reverse mortgage line of credit to grow, increase your borrowing power at the same rate of growth as the interest on the loan. It's very unique feature, and it's a little hard to wrap your head around, but it actually increases your ability to borrow over time, and it just keeps growing, and the growth on the line of credit is compounding.
Wow.
So when you're using the reverse mortgage like I am, if interest rates do go higher, I'm thrilled, because the higher the interest rate, the more rapid the compounding growth of my line of credit is.
Wow.
So when you're doing the mortgage, and that's why talking to a specialist and really sitting down and saying, what am I trying to accomplish? How do I want to structure the loan so it meets my needs? You can have lower interest rate if you choose, and maybe use that if you're paying off a larger mortgage and you want to slow the growth of the debt on your house to leave more to your kids. You just structure the loan how you want it to work.
Yeah, you're kind of in the driver's seat.
You are in the driver's seat, and you can even take that line of credit if, as the years pass by, your partner, your husband or wife pass away and your income is affected, because it always is. You have less money coming into the home. You can take that line of credit and you can change it into a ongoing payment, almost annuitize it so that you get an additional payment every single month for as long as you're residing in the home.
So you're talking about the scenario where maybe you have two husband and wife in the house, one of them passes away. Now Social Security is cut in half, right?
Right. Well, it's cut down, whichever you're only eligible to take one of the higher benefits. So you take the higher benefit, but you lose whatever the lower was. So it's different for everyone.
So this could be a hedge against that,
Absolutely. You can turn your line of credit and you can replace that income. And if you use what's called a tenure, TENURE payment, that payment will continue on until you don't live in the house. And so even if the line of credit is gone, that payment continues.
Wow.
It's another feature. Like I said, people should not be scared of reverse mortgage. They should
give you a call.
Yes, because knowledge is power. That's what I always say. You just have to know.
So Barbara McIntyre, Reverse Mortgage Funding. How do people get in touch with you?
You can call me. I answer my phone all the time unless I'm with a client.
Yeah.
And that number is 321-259-7880. Or 321-259-7880.
Good. Over the years, you and Joe have done a number of TV programs. We broadcast those TV programs on Space Coast Government TV 3 times a day, Monday through Friday. and Monday through Friday, and 8. I think it's 8:30, 4:30, and 5 p.m. You can catch Helping Seniors TV on Space Coast Government TV. Also, those programs are all archived. You can get them at helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. You can find our YouTube channel, Helping Seniors of Brevard, and you can find them on our Facebook page and get information there as well. So with that, we're going to kind of shift the gear and let's talk about cruising. Now, Chris Morse, you joke and say you've been a travel agent since dinosaurs roamed the earth. And you were just out, actually, at the World Elder Abuse Awareness Day Festival that they held there at the Melbourne Auditorium. So you've been having a chance to get out, meet people, talk up the Helping Seniors Cruise. But tell us a little bit about what you're finding out there. Everybody's ready to travel, right?
Everybody that went by the booth, we talked about travel. They can't wait to travel. The questions were enormous. The questions were great. They all want to go cruising or being able to take a land package or take their grandkids out during the summertime. Oh, my God. It was amazing.
I'm sure people are asking, is it safe? What is your answer to them?
Right now, the hotels, the cruise lines, the airplanes, the buses are cleaner than your home.
Yes.
and they have to be, because if anything should happen, let's say if a cruise line goes out, I'm taking a Crystal cruise on the 3rd of July, the first one that's going to actually be going out.
Terrific.
If that cruise line comes back with COVID in a major way, the cruise line industry will shut down for probably another year. So you just have to imagine that the cruise lines are going to do everything perfect. There's going to be some testing on board. The rooms will be cleaner than your home. There'll be spot testing. All the crew is vaccinated. It's just going to be a marvelous way to start to travel again. So please, I don't know what stations you're listening to, whether it's radio or TV. COVID is not going to affect travel during the summer or in the fall when we have our great cruise out of Port Canaveral.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to that in a second. I was going to tell you, we literally were on an airplane flying back home yesterday, and Delta was showing this thing that they said, we change the air in the airplane like every 90 seconds or something. And they're talking about how they go out of the way to keep everything safe like that. And I was thinking, probably why it made a big news story at first was nobody understood it. We learned that all the way along the way. Fairly quickly, we learned how to keep seniors safe from it medically. And in fact, that's one of the reasons Joe Steckler, our president and founder, has been on this Stay Connected initiative, because what we learned was we can keep seniors medically safe, but we got to get rid of this isolation issue, because that's as deadly as the disease itself.
Right.
And travel is a great way to stay connected, I think.
Yeah, when seniors meet other seniors, I've been on over 130 cruises. I've met so many people, and I bet a quarter of them I can reach out to and say, hi, do you remember our cruise back in 2000? And you're always sending pictures about your Holland America cruises and, and things like that that you've done 10, 15 years ago. And it's marvelous how you stay friends with people that you meet, and getting all the seniors together that we're going to be having on our Helping Seniors of Brevard cruise in October. It's going to be a great way to reintroduce yourself to some other seniors and just have a lot of fun and be with folks that are your age and understand us. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, what I really like about this is that this is an opportunity to really stay connected, because like you said, you always make friends. You can't be on a ship for 7, 10 days, whatever, and not make friends on board the ship. And everybody exchanges used to be, we'll send each other postcards. In the age of internet, let's post a picture on Facebook. But it's not like you can say, hey, Tuesday, let's go for lunch, because they live on the West Coast and we live here in Florida. So with this cruise that you've put together, this is fantastic. So you got to write down this date, October 17th, 2021. You organized it so that we don't even have to get on an airplane. We don't have to get on a bus. We just roll right up to Port Canaveral and we are good to go.
Yeah, MSC is going to be having the MSC Divina. You can look that up on,
it's a lovely ship
on Google. It's a beautiful ship out of Port Canaveral. It'll leave about 5 o'clock in the afternoon on the 17th of October. We're doing the Western Caribbean. We have 90 cabins available for our seniors, and we have a terrific price.
Yeah. You want to share that? This is unbelievable, because when you get a price, first of all, if you go look something up on the internet, there'll be a price there. But then as you start to click each, you have to go through all these pages. Then it says, oh, we forgot to tell you, you got to pay government taxes and fees. So that usually almost doubles the price of the cruise right there. Then they say, oh, but you want to have travel insurance, so let's throw another $100 on there. And then they say, oh, remember, when you get on board, you got to take care of the staff on board. So we're going to add the gratuities to your credit card when you get on board. And then they're going to say, oh, you want Wi-Fi on board? They're going to say things like, what about the administration fee that the travel agency charges and all those different things. So when you put this pricing together, not only did you get a tremendous price, but you included everything. It seems like you included everything. And then on top of that, when you pay that price, not only do you get what I would consider a great deal on a cruise, you're able to get everybody to bump that up to a balcony cabin if they act.
It's amazing. What's the old joke? And there's more to it.
Yeah.
There's more to come. So you're going to pay one price. It's all inclusive except for your drinks and excursions. But then what we're going to do is when you order up an ocean view cabin, we're going to bump you up automatically to a balcony cabin at no charge.
Listen to that.
That's what MSC is doing for the Helping Seniors of Brevard cruise. They want to help and support the Helping Seniors of Brevard Foundation, and they're also donating back some of the profit back to Helping Seniors of Brevard Foundation, which is fabulous.
That's what I was going to actually bring up, is the fact that not only did you negotiate a tremendous value, because when you hear the price, you're going to be like, okay, give me Chris's phone number. I want to get in on this before they get all the cabins gone. But the price is amazing, but it includes all those things we just talked about. You're going to spend 2 days at the Ocean Cay Marine Preserve, which is MSC's private island in the Caribbean. It is spectacular. It's stellar. Because you're there overnight, you can spend the night on the beach if you wanted to. How often do you get an opportunity to do that? And it's ecologically sound, but it's got all the fun things you would want to do there too. Tell us a little bit about Ocean Cay.
Yeah, it's been rated. Every cruise line now has their own island,
right?
Their own private island. But Ocean Cay and Royal Caribbean Island has been rated the #1 island to go to for the cruise ship. So it's going to be fabulous. So you can bring your grandkids; they'll have a great time. You can just bring your significant other and have a good time. We also are matching up ladies or men that do not have a significant other. We're matching those people up, which is wonderful. And then we're going to head over to Cozumel, which is a great little island in Mexico. And then we're going to go over to Belize.
Wow.
So that's going to be wonderful. And we're going to have special entertainment. And Kerry, you want to tell us about the special entertainment we're having?
I would love to. So one of the fun things when you go traveling is not only are you traveling with people that you will now become friends with, and here, because we're all local, you'll be able to say, hey, let's have lunch next Wednesday when we get off the cruise ship. You'll be able to do that. You'll make new friends. It's phenomenal how it happens. And this is exactly what happened for us years ago. We, when we were doing the Music of Your Life radio network, we started getting involved with cruises, and we found out for seniors, it was so much fun that they were like, we got to go every time. And being Music of Your Life, that was all about the music. So one of our great friends from the Music of Your Life days is coming with us on this cruise. And she is a singer that has traveled the world. She sang with, we were all bouncing in here to In the Mood and Glenn Miller. Well, she toured the world with the Glenn Miller Orchestra. She sang in Branson with the Les Brown Band of Renown and toured the world with Les Brown. She played many, many, many events with Buddy Morrow, who led the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra for years. Tremendous singer, tremendous talent, beautiful jazz singer. She also has a hit of her own, because when she was a teenager, her and her mom, with 3 other friends, formed a group called the Hillside Singers. These people go like, okay, I'm scratching my head. I've heard that before. I've heard that before. I've heard that before. Well, you remember, everybody now calls it the Coca-Cola song. It's I'd like to teach the world to sing. So we always joke to say, Lori, I'd like to teach the world to sing. Hafer and her husband, Mike, are coming along with us, and they're going to provide entertainment just for our group on board. You may have caught them before. They play a lot up at Heidi's Jazz Club up in Cocoa. Just really accomplished. So not only do we have all the great value that we talked about, we also have entertainment on board. And get this. So, Chris, we had made reservations. We were up in Rapid City, South Dakota, and we had made reservations months back, and we got a rate which I thought was expensive. It was like $125 a night. Okay, but we booked it because we wanted to be there. We want to go do that. So that's just your hotel room, right? So then you got to buy your food and everything else you do on top of that. We get there to check in. Everybody's traveling now. We heard them as we checked in. They were quoting somebody who'd walked in and they got the room. They got like the last room left, and it was $379.
Right.
And this is not a Ritz-Carlton. We are talking about a Hampton Inn, And so when I tell you the price of this cruise, or you tell the price of this cruise, and you think about that, that person paid $379 plus tax to be there for one night. And we're going to be on a cruise ship for 7 nights. It includes all your meals. It includes your entertainment. It includes all your friends from Brevard County. You are helping the work of helping seniors. Tell them the price, Johnny.
And we're going to have a cocktail party.
Oh, yeah.
It does include the Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's right. You included the Wi-Fi.
And we're going to throw in another $50 so they can spend it when the T-shirts go on sale for half price.
That's right. That's always fun. The last 2 days of the cruise, it's like get your T-shirts, you get all the gifts for everybody. Now you got $50 to spend towards that.
So it's going to be $910 per person. That includes everything, and you're going to get from an ocean view bumped up all the way to a balcony cabin at no charge. And we also want to reach out to the Helping Seniors of Brevard corporate folks, so we can get them on board. If we have enough seniors, we'd love to have some trade shows on board. The MSC Davina has a wonderful conference center where we can have some seminars like the one we had today regarding reverse mortgage and some of the others. So if there's any corporate sponsors out there that would love to go on a cruise and present their product to our seniors of Helping Seniors of Brevard, we'd love to have you come aboard. We have some special rates for you. MSC and Helping Seniors of Brevard will welcome you aboard. We'll give you some special announcements. We'll do some radio things and let the people know who's coming and who's supporting us. So if there's any corporate accounts out there that would love to come on board the ship, please give me a call. My phone number is
Chris Morse.
Chris Morse.
Yes,
absolutely.
Chris Morse. Give Chris or Betty a call,
and
right?
Betty, my senior, my partner in life and my partner in the company is 321-978-5211. That's 321-978-5211. We've sold about 25 cabins. We've got about 75 more to go, and I think we'll sell out. And it's going to be a wonderful cruise. Just imagine getting on a cruise ship with seniors, having a cocktail party, having special entertainment just for us, onboard shipboard credit, free Wi-Fi, gratuities paid, port charges paid, cabin, 7 nights, great food, wonderful entertainment. It's going to be just wonderful.
It is a tremendous value when you add all that together. It's amazing. And then remember that you're actually benefiting the work of Helping Seniors. They're actually helping us in the setting up of the Helping Seniors Foundation. So you're it's kind of like it's the first thing, and I can tell you from experience, and I know you can too. Boy, once somebody comes on a sailing like that, they're like, when are we doing the next one? This is great. This is great.
And on that sailing, we're going to be presenting our next cruise, and it's going to be a real secret, but I think we're going to be doing something on the Mississippi River, maybe.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Great.
It's terrific. So there's going to be so much exciting things to do. This is the Helping Seniors Travel Club. By the way, if you are looking to travel any place, even if it wasn't on the cruise, give Chris or Betty a call for a couple of reasons. A portion of what you do will come back and benefit Helping Seniors. But here's really, I think, the important point that has to do with our cruise, and I want people to understand this. Going on this cruise may be a great chance to bring along the grandkids, maybe, whatever you want to bring, make it a family affair. Bring folks in. But the thing that's so special about what you guys do is that you are special needs certified. So you understand the challenges that some people have when they travel. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I get calls all the time from seniors that say, Chris, I'd love to go, but I don't feel like I can do it. I can't walk. I can't do this. I can't do that. They're really special needs. So we're special needs certified, and probably, I bet, we've done out of 100 calls of people that thought they couldn't travel, we've got 75% of them to travel either on a cruise ship or on a plane or in a hotel or something like that, where they just didn't feel like they could do it. When we presented the products that we have and how we would treat them and take care of them, we've got about 75% of those people to travel. So we're so happy to do that.
Yeah, and I was going to say that is so important. Plus, we've talked about this before. A lot of times if you see a deal on the internet and you sign up, you're kind of out in the Wild West. You're on your own. Something goes wrong. You're on that 800 number for hours and hours. But in this case, on the Helping Seniors Cruise, you guys are there with us.
Right, we'll be there. And also when you book any travel through senior travel through Betty and I, and we also use vendors that support Helping Seniors of Brevard, so that's really nice. So every time you take a trip with us, we donate back to Helping Seniors of Brevard. And also we only use vendors that really support or know about the seniors.
Yeah.
So they're very well taken care of. And if anything goes wrong when you book with Senior Travel or Helping Seniors of Brevard Travel Club, we're there. We're like your panic button. If anything should go wrong, Betty and I are there. We take care of the problem within half a day. You're on your trip. You don't have to worry about a thing. You can't do that on the internet. And we match or beat any internet rate anyway, because internet is not famous for working with seniors. So please give us an opportunity to earn your business, both as Helping Seniors of Brevard Foundation and as a well-known travel agency. Please call us, Chris or Betty, at 321-978-5211. And we would love to book your next trip, especially on our Helping Seniors of Brevard cruise on October 17th.
Yeah, I sure encourage you to get involved with that. It's going to be so much fun. Like I said, you don't have to get on a bus or an airplane or any big hassle. You can have a neighbor drop you off at the port, maybe even save on the parking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You just roll right onto the ship. You're going to have an amazing 7 days. We're going to visit Cozumel. We're going to visit Costa Maya. And we're going to have 2 days at the beautiful Ocean Cay Marine Preserve. We're going to have a great time. A couple of days at sea, which are always fun, just to enjoy the ship's amenities. It's a beautiful ship. The Italians, if they know one thing, they know how to design stuff that is just cool looking.
Yeah, MSC has won awards. They're not for the beautiful ships like Royal Caribbean beautiful ships, but they have won awards for how beautiful their ships are. Oh. They are gorgeous. They have it goes on and on. When you enter the ship, you're going to be just amazed at how beautiful the ship is.
Phone number one more time, Chris Morse.
Thank you. It's 321-978-5211. Give us a call and we will take care of you for the Helping Seniors of Brevard Foundation cruise and any other packages that you might want to book through us to help Helping Seniors of Brevard Foundation.
And Barb McIntyre, one last time with the phone number about the reverse mortgage.
Well, the phone number is 321-259-7880. And I would say there's still time if you wanted to look at a reverse mortgage to get some extra money. Yeah, I can't tell you how many people that I meet that say all we want to do is just have a little extra money so that we can do something fun, like take a cruise or take a trip.
Well, let's go.
So you know what? Give me a call.
Sounds great. And we'll see you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week right here on Helping Seniors Radio.